So for the first two songs, yeah.
I will maintain my game of while wearing the belt, string my best not to make it sound more funky. Because if you ring them too often, then they lose their power.
Like, can you do a short intro until you and then start, or how much time do you have? Should I do a short intro or should I just start? Okay. Oh. 1 minute.
She's at 5:30. Sleep at 8.
Welcome to Artichoke Music, everyone. If you have a cell phone, you can take a moment to silence it. During the performance, we have a couple bathrooms, one in the back of the store here, and one at the top of the stairs. And without further ado, Andrea Wild and the Poinsettia Sisters.
Welcome, everybody. So we're going to have some wassailing this evening, and I think without further ado, it goes like. Here we come a wassailing among the leaves of green. Here we come a wandering so fairly to be seen. Now is winter time, strangers travel far and near, and we wish you, send you a happy new year. We hope that all your barley will prosper, fine and grow, so that you'll have plenty and a bit more to bestow. We hope your wethers they grow fat, and likewise all your ewes, and where they had one lamb, we hope they will have two. Bud and bloom and bear, so we may have cider and plenty all next year. Hatfuls and in capfuls and in bushel bags and all, and the cider running out of every gutter hole. Down here in a muddy lane there sits an old red fox, starving and a shivering and licking his old chops. Bring us out your table and spread it if you please, and give us hungry wassailers a bit of bread and cheese. Oh, I've a little purse and it's made of leather skin. A little silver sixpence will line it well within. Now is winter time, strangers travel far and near, and we wish you, send you a happy new year.
Counting songs.
Yeah, we like counting songs. We just learned to count, didn't we? Just the other night. But this one is tricky though, because it's counting backwards. So we'll see how far that goes.
That's right. It is, because 12 Days of Christmas counts up. This counts down. Right there is a recipe for disaster. So,
Jolly old hawk and his wings were grey. Now let us sing. Who's going to win the girl but me? Jolly old hawk and his wings were grey, sent to my love on the 12th most day. 12 old bears and they were a-roaring, 11 old mares and they were a-brawling, 10 old cocks crawled out in the morning, 9 old boars and they were a-quarreling. Sent to my love on the 12th most day. 8 old bulls and they were a-bawling, 7 old cows as they ran before 'em, 6 old cows and they was a-bellowing, 5 for a fifth and a fairy. Sent to my love on the 12th most day, a 4-footed pig and a 3-thistle cock, 2 little birds and a jolly old hawk, and his wings were grey. Now let us sing. Who's going to win the girl but me? Jolly old hawk and his wings were grey, sent to my love on the 12th most day. 12 old bears and they were a-roaring, 11 old mares and they were a-brawling, 10 old cocks crawled out in the morning, 9 old boars and they were a-quarreling. Sent to my love on the 12th most day. 8 old bulls and they were a-bawling, 7 old calves as they ran before 'em, 6 old cows and they were a-bellowing, 5 for a fifth and a fairy. Sent to my love on the 12th most day, a 4-footed pig and a 3-thistle cock, 2 little birds and a jolly old hawk, and his wings were grey. Now let us sing. Who's going to win the girl but me? Jolly old hawk dark and his wings were grey, sent to my love on the 12th day. Now, that's a lot of quarrelling and brawling, and we've already had quite enough this
Really?
Christmas. In fact, just the other day, I had to take my son to the emergency room because he accidentally swallowed a Christmas ornament. So the ER doctor looked at him. He said, "Oh, this is a classic case of tinselitis."
She does her best.
Which has nothing to do with the next song whatsoever.
Shepherds rejoice, lift up your eyes and send your fears away. News from the region of the sky, salvation's born today. Jesus, the God who angels fear, comes down to dwell with you. Today he makes his entrance here, but not as monarchs do. No gold nor purple swaddling bands, no royal shining things. A manger for his cradle stands and holds the King of Kings. Go, shepherds, where the infant lies, and see his humble throne. With tears of joy in all your eyes, go, shepherds, kiss the Son. Thus Gabriel sang, and straight around the heavenly armies throng. They tune their harps to lofty sound, and thus concludes the song. Glory to God that reigns above, let peace surround the earth. We too shall know their Maker's love at their Redeemer's birth. Lord, and shall angels have their tongues, and men no tunes to raise? Lord, may we lose our useless tongues when they forget to praise. Glory to God that reigns above, that pitied us forlorn. We join to sing our Maker's love, for there's a Savior born. We were sure that that was an Appalachian song, and it's an Appalachian tune, pretty obviously, but it was written in the late 1800s by Isaac Watts, who wrote lots and lots and lots of hymns, but it's a nice one. So enough of us singing alone. Indeed. You know this one.
We'll sing together, Good King Wenceslas. I know most of you here know this song, so we can all have a nice join in together.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. Hear the page and stand by me, if thou know'st it telling. Yonder peasant, who is he? Where and what's his dwelling? Sire, he lives a goodly penance underneath the mountain, right against the forest fence. by St. Agnes' fountain. Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither. Thou and I shall see him dine when we bear him thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together. Through the rude wind's wild lament and the bitter weather. Sire, the night grows darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fails my heart, I know not how, I can go no longer. Mark my footsteps, my good page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage, freeze thy bloodless coldly. In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. Heat was in the very sod, which the saint had printed. Ne'er for Christian men be sure, wealth and rank possessing, he who now will bless the poor, shall yourselves find blessing.
Thanks for singing along.
Oh, there's more singing to be had. But this one has the much beloved syllabic chorus. No words.
Just Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. That's about it.
That's it. Yeah, pretty much.
This is a song from the area of Derbyshire and the town of Derby, where years ago, men and usually some young boys would go in groups and they go door to door and they tell a tale. And the idea was to make this tale so grand and so memorable and so alive. And it's also tied in with a bit of, sacrificial something or other, which the best stories are. And it's called The Derby Ram. As I was going to Derby all on a market day, I spied the biggest ram, sir, that ever was fed on hay. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. This top was fat behind, sir, this top was fat before. This top was 9 yards round, sir, if not a little more. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. Yes, the horns that on this top they grew, well, they reached up to the sky. The eagles made their nest within, you could hear the young ones cry. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. Yes, the horns that on this top they grew, well, they reached up to the moon. A little boy went up in January, and he never got back till June. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. And when this ram was killed, sir, there was a terrible flood. Took 24 butcher boys to wash away the blood. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. The blood became a river, sir, and it flowed down Derby Moor. It turned the biggest wheel that ever was turned before. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay. And all the men of Derby come begging for his tale, to ring St. George's parson bell at the top of Derby jail. And so Laylam, Laylam, pitiful Laylam, lay.
And all the women of Derby come begging for his ears to make 'em leather aprons that'll last 'em 40 years. And so lay-lum, lay-lum, pitiful lay-lum, lay. And all the boys of Derby come begging for his eyes to make themselves some footballs, 'cause they wear a football size. And so lay-lum, lay-lum, pitiful lay-lum, lay. Took all the men of Derby to carry away his bones. Took all the women of Derby to roll away his stones. And so lay-lum, lay-lum, pitiful lay-lum, lay. And now our story's over, and we have no more to say. Please give us all a New Year's box, and we will go away. And so lay-lum, lay-lum, pitiful lay-lum, lay. Lay-lum, lay-lum, pitiful lay-lum, lay.
There's probably 20 more verses to that.
We've
But-
spared you.
Yeah, we spared you. We spared ourselves. You know, between that and the backward quarreling animals, I don't know.
I think it might have been the ram that got spurred the other 20
Oh.
verses. So we all think of, Christmas as a time to celebrate. But in days gone by, and certainly today, there are those people who work for other people and they don't get many days off. And so this is a song about the serving girls who, work in a big home, a big mansion, and just a couple times a year on the high holidays, they're given an actual day off. So St. Stephen's Day would be one of those, and Easter and Whitsuntide. And they looked forward, as you can imagine, to this precious day off. And this is a song called The Serving Girls' Holiday.
I've waited longing for today, spindle, bobbin, and spool away. In joy and bliss I'm off to play upon this high holiday. And spindle, bobbin, and spool away. What joy that is a holiday. The dirt upon the floors unswept, the fireplace isn't cleaned and kept. I haven't caught the rushes yet upon this high holiday. And spindle, bobbin, and spool away. What joy that is a holiday. In pails the milk has got to go. I ought to spread this bowl of dough. It clogs my nails and fingers so, as I need this high holiday. And spindle, bobbin, and spool away. What joy that is a holiday. The cooking herbs I must fetch in and fix my kerchief
under my chin. Darling Jack, lend me a pin to fix me well this holiday. And spindle bobbin and spool away, what joy that is a holiday. And when we stand beside the track at the inn this Sunday, Jack will wet my whistle and pay my work as on every holiday. And spindle bobbin and spool away, what joy that is a holiday. I've waited longing for today. Spindle bobbin and spool away, in joy and bliss I'm off to play upon this high holiday.
We have an analog teleprompter. It's very exciting. We realize that every band I've ever been in has their set list and it's on the floor. And so you're trying to look out, be glad people are here. Ever peering downwards. So this is an improvement.
I'm picking it up and discovering it's the shopping list and all of that stuff. The recipe for the Christmas cookie. Is that the wrong piece of paper off the counter?
This is a song you know.
Yes, I think everyone here probably knows this song. It's called the Sans Day Carol. So we'll hope you'll all join in. Now the holly she bears a berry as white as the milk, and Mary she bore Jesus all wrapped up in silk, and Mary she bore Jesus our Saviour for to be, and the first tree that's in the greenwood it was the holly, holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Now the holly, she bears a berry as green as the grass, and Mary, she bore Jesus who died on the cross. And Mary, she bore Jesus, our Saviour for to be, and the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly, holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Now the holly, she bears a berry as black as the coal, and Mary, she bore Jesus who died for us all. And Mary, she bore Jesus, our Saviour for to be, and the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly, holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Now the holly, she bears a berry as blood it is red, and Mary, she bore Jesus who rose from the dead. And Mary, she bore Jesus, our Saviour for to be, and the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly, holly, holly. And the the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly.
Okay.
Which one's that one?
This is one that has a one-word
Oh, yeah.
chorus. One word, 2 syllables. It is,
And it gets repeated.
and it gets repeated. And it's got 3 notes. Really no excuses not to sing on this one.
Wassail!
That's it.
Wassail! That's it. Yeah, it's about it, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, wassail, wassail.
Wassail.
A little higher, I think.
There we go. A bit higher. Wassail! Wassail!
Good master and mistress sitting down by the fire while we poor wassailers do dabble in the mire with our jolly wassail. Oh, little robin redbreast, she has a fine wing. Give us of your cider and we'll begin to sing with our jolly wassail. Wassail, wassail. Good master and mistress, our wassail begins. Please open your door and let us come in with our jolly wassail. Oh, little robin redbreast, she has a fine song. Give us of your cider, we won't keep you long with our jolly wassail. Wassail, wassail. Your ale cup is white and your ale it is brown. Your beer is the best that ever can be found with a jolly wassail. Oh, little robin redbreast, she has a fine leg. Give us of your cider and we'll begin to beg with a jolly wassail. Wassail, wassail. Your gin, it is brewed from the juniper tree. Your gin is the best that ever can be with our jolly wassail. Oh, little robin redbreast, she has a fine toe. Give us of your cider and we'll begin to go with our jolly wassail. Wassail, wassail. With a jolly wassail.
Wassail. So, people in England, they like going door to door and getting what they can.
It's a recurring theme.
It's a recurring theme, yes, and this
Not
is
limited to one holiday.
no, indeed. So the souling is something that actually happens around about Hallows Eve, and that's when it's considered that, as you know, all the spirits are out and about and probably up to mischief, so it's best you keep them at bay. And so people would go door to door, blessing the crops and the house and the people within, in the hopes that in return they get a little bit of something, maybe something to eat or some money or some beer or something like that. And this is the souling song, so we hope you'll join in. And that's where soul cake comes from. It comes from the tradition of souling, of going around on the Hallows Eve time when the souls are out. You want me to just pitch it?
Yeah.
A soul cake. Please, good missus, a soul cake. Apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry. Any good thing to make us merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul. 3 for him who made us all. God bless the master of this house and the mistress also, and all the little children who around your table grow, the cattle in your stable, the dog at your front door, and all that dwell within these gates, we wish you 10 times more. A soul cake. Please, good missus, a soul cake. Apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry. Any good thing to make us merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul. 3 for him who made us all. Go down into the cellar and see what you can find. If the barrel isn't empty, we hope that you'll prove kind. We hope that you'll prove kind with your apple and your pear, or we'll come no more annoy you till the same time next year. A soul cake. Please, good missus, a soul cake. Apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry. Any good thing to make us merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul. 3 for him who made us all. The lanes are very dirty and me shoes are very thin. I've got a little pocket you can put a penny in. If you haven't got a penny, an halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, God bless you. A soul cake. Please, good missus, a soul cake. Apple, a pear, a plum, or a cherry. Any good thing to make us merry. 1 for Peter, 2 for Paul. 3 for him who made us all. I like that song because you can sing it at Christmas, but you can always sing it at Halloween, of course, because that's when it starts. Which reminds me, what do you get when you cross a vampire with a snowman? Frostbite?
We tried to stop her. It won't work. So we're all over the aisles with this. Gone to Jacobstow, and this is Somerset. Where's Somerset?
Somerset's in the southwest of England, and lots of these different areas. They just grew up with their own traditions. They grew up with their own ways of wassailing. Wassail, for those of you who may not know what wassail is, wassail comes from the Anglo-Saxon words was and hail, which means good, and hail is from the modern today health, so good health. So they would bless either the apple trees in Somerset, which is a big apple growing area, or in other regions they would have their own traditions where they would take a bowl and they would gather all the beer from different places. They'd all share the bowl. They weren't worried about the germs then. So anyway,
the life expectancy was a little different too, or was after the bowl was shared. This is also known as the apple tree wassail. Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Lily white lily, oh lily white pin,
please to come down and let us come in. Lily, oh lily white smock, please to come down and pull back the lock.
And it's
our wassail, jolly wassail. Joy come to our jolly wassail. How well they may bloom, how well they may bear, so we may have apples and cider next year.
Oh, master and mistress, oh, are you within?
Please to come down and pull back the pin.
And it's
Our wassail, jolly wassail. Joy come to our jolly wassail.
how well they may bloom.
How well they may bear, so we may have apples and cider next year.
There was an old woman, and she had an old cow.
But how to milk her she didn't know how. She put her old cow down in her old barn, and a little more liquor won't do us no harm. Harm me boys, harm me boys, harm. And a little more liquor won't do us no harm.
And it's
Our wassail, jolly wassail. Joy come to our jolly wassail. How well they may bloom, how well they may bear, so we may have apples and cider next year. Oh, the ringles and the jingles and the tenor of the song goes merrily, merrily, merrily. Oh, the tenor of the song goes merrily. Hatfuls, catfuls, big bushel bagfuls, little heaps under the stairs. Hip, hip,
hooray! You'd have to have a very big porch for your house, I think, with all of these people coming by. You got your birds, you got your animals, you got your apples, and it's cold.
And you might even have deer. You know,
Deer?
deer, yeah, like Rudolph and stuff like
Oh,
that.
oh, so here's a joke that about 3 people in the audience will get. How do you know when there's a Kaylee band on your porch? They knock twice and all come in at once.
That's good.
Told you.
That's good. That's good.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, with the jokes or?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the jokes. Okay, so what happens to Santa Claus when he gets stuck in the chimney? He suffers from claustrophobia.
Never mind. We'll keep singing.
Yes, I will. I will introduce the band. So this configuration this evening, on my left, Dylan Wilde. On my right, Teresa Baker. On my far right, Preston Wilde. I'm Andrea Wilde.
No relation.
They might deny it, but, you know, somewhere there's a family connection, but, you know, it's that. So I'm going to do a song also from Somerset, and this came from a poem. Apparently there's a verse we're going to have for next year. We don't have it this year, but Teresa came across it, didn't you?
Very excited about it. It's about very cold sheep covered with snow.
We can relate to that.
In fact, the whole song's about winter.
It's cold animals.
Cold animals. Angry cold animals. Is there a theme here? I don't know.
The trees are all bare, not a leaf to be seen. and 'tis cold for man and beast, and the streams they are, and the streams they are, all fast bound down with frost. 'Twas down in the farmyard where the oxen feed on straw, they send forth their breath like the stream. Sweet Betsy, the milkmaid, now quickly she must go, for the flakes of ice she finds, for the flakes of ice she finds, a-floating on her green. 'Tis now all the small birds to the barn door fly for food, and gently they rest on the spray. Down the plantation the hares do search for food, and lift their footsteps sure, lift their footsteps sure, for fear they do betray. Now Christmas is come, and our song is almost done, and we soon shall have the turn of the year. So fill up your glasses and let your health go round, for I wish you all, for I wish you all a joyful New Year. We're going to take a very short break, and if you've got any requests, you can let us know. Any more joke themes or anything like that, or favorite carols, whatever.
Don't forget the maids behind the bar.
That's right. They are unforgettable, actually.
Right. They may be the best friends you have. Thank you.
Are we starting? Or- yeah.
Oh, I might say something.
Oh yeah, please do.
Welcome back. Yeah, I hope that this works well enough, and you can hear me. I will try to project as well as I can. We'll see. The holly and the ivy, when they are both full grown, of all the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Oh, the holly have a blossom as white as a lily flower, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ for to be our sweet Savior. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Oh, the holly have a berry as red as any blood, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ for to do for sinners good. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Oh, the holly have a prickle as sharp as any thorn, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ on Christmas Day in the morn. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Oh, the holly have a bark as bitter as any gall, and Mary bore sweet Jesus Christ for to redeem us all. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Oh, the rising of the sun and the running of the deer, the playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir. Thank you. We call that act the multitaskers. Right.
So there's a town in Cornwall, which is in the southwest of England, called Mousel. And Mousel is actually spelt, you can look this up, M-O-U-S-E, like mouse, mouse hole, but it's pronounced by the Cornish people Mousel. So you don't want to go there and say, can you tell me the way to mouse hole? Because that wouldn't be good. Anyway, myth and legend has it that the town was very, very hungry and that they'd had no fish come in. And there was a fellow by the name of Tom Bourcock. And on the 23rd of December, he went into the sea in the cold and retrieved the fish, and all the village got to eat. And still today, they celebrate the eve of Tom, it's called Tom Bourcock's Eve. They celebrate that night with a big procession, lots of parties, and this very special dish called starry gazy pie. And starry gazy pie is made of fish, but the thing that makes it stand out, so to speak, is that the fish heads protrude through the top of the pie crust, and the eyes are staring upwards, and hence the name Starry Gazy Pie. So this is a song called Tom Bocock.
And it does have a chorus.
It does have a chorus, doesn't it?
Yes. A merrier place.
A merrier place, you may believe, is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then, who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish?
There will be a test.
And the winner gets a starry gazy pie.
A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish. A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish.
When murky broth has cleared a path, come lances for a fry. Then we add a bit of scat
And starry gazy pie. A merrier place you may believe was Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish. A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish.
Then comes fair maids, broth thirsty jades, who made our ozzles dry, with ling and lake enough to make
A running shot to sigh. A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish. A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish.
As each we clunk in health we drunk, in bumpers brimming high. And when up came Tom Bocock's name,
We praise into the sky. A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish. A merrier place you may believe is Mousel on Tom Bocock's eve. To be there then who wouldn't wish to sup on 7 sorts of fish.
So, who in the audience speaks Welsh? All right, one person. That's fortunate. That's very fortunate. You'll see why soon. Anyway, the response I usually get is no hands raised, which is why I've taught my kids to speak Welsh, so that when the tradesmen come to the door and the sellers and the solicitors and whatever else they're trying to flog, their kids can get rid of them fairly quickly. I mean, you don't want to stand too close to somebody who's trying to do the double L's, you know what I mean? They usually take off pretty quick.
The
And then
splash
invest
zone.
in an umbrella. Anyway, this is an old Welsh carol called Awn i Bethlehem, which means let's go to Bethlehem.
Awn i Bethlehem, bawb dangani, neidio dawnsio a llaweni, i cael gweld ein bronwr credig, i cael gweld ein bronwr credig, a'n oed heddiw dydd y Nadolig. Mae'r hangolion a'n llaweni, mae'r birffafen a'n tywani, mae'r llinef yn canu hynau, mae'r llinef yn canu hynau, can y danion rhywbeth hwyrhau. Angels singing in the heavens, firmament top of is shining. Heavenly hosts ring out a herald, heavenly hosts ring out a herald. Let us all join in the carol. Awn i Bethlehem, bawb dangani, neidio dawnsio a llaweni, i cael gweld ein bronwr credig, i cael gweld ein bronwr credig, a'n oed heddiw dydd y Nadolig.
Croeso pawb. Thanks very much, everyone. No, that was welcome. Sorry. Diolch yn fawr, pawb. Diolch yn fawr. So, I'm going to ask our one raised hand member of the audience here, who does speak some Welsh, to join me on stage for a very old Welsh tradition called Plygain. Plygain was where men in the village on Christmas morning would go to the chapel, the churches, and they would go before the sun rose. So they would take candles with them, and they would sing in groups, and each group or family, often a family group, would have their own one or two Plygain carols that they would sing, and they would, each sort of take turns. So they're often sort of 3 or 4 part harmony carols. And this was a tradition that almost died out. But fortunately, there was a bit of a resurgence. And luckily for us, we still can celebrate Plygain today. So we're going to share 2 Plygain with you. Do you want to do Daith Nadolig first? Let's see. Do we need it? Right. We might try and wing it without the lyrics, but we'll see. Do you you want to tell them what Daith Nadolig means?
Daith Nadolig means comes Christmas.
And Christmas comes fel arferol.
Well, yes,
as
Daith Nadolig,
usual.
it comes as usual, yes.
As usual.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Daith Nadolig fel arferol. Daith fel yna dyddiau gynt. Gydau eira, gydau orni, gydau rewhau, rihol wynd. Ond lledau li drwsio'r goedwig, gwisgyr hi a hi gan gwyn. Ac mae music pob aderyn wedi darfod yn y glyn. Daith Nadolig fel arferol, mewn tawelwch mae y byd, wrth i ninnau gofio'r stori, am y baban yn ei gryd. Cofio am y seren ddisglair, cofio am y presept lawr, cofio engel yn cyhoeddi, gen i diw mewn gwisgo gnawd. Daith Nadolig fel arferol, ac mae music am pob man. Music ryan mynd i blygain, music peraidd glachau'r llan. Rhaid i ninnau gyda'r doeddion, a'r bugailiad i gael trem. Ar y hwn sydd wedi enni, draw am preseb Bethlehem. Dal o foleddiwn a molianwn, gan oed caedwad mawr y byd. Cyfaill pecha diriaid mawrion, ydyw Iesu Grist o hyd. Brenin heddwch godiwyd Iesu, a thangnefedd ar ei wedd. Dyma frenin a brenhin oedd, ddysgodd i ni gladdu'r clef.
That very last line is sort of interesting. It says, here is the King of Kings, basically, who teaches us how to bury the sword. So,
Yeah, it's an interesting song because it starts out so peaceful. There's no movement. Even the birds have stopped singing, and everything is covered in snow, and the whole world is quiet. And then comes the birth of Christ, and then the last verse is rejoicing and celebrating. So it sort of builds up in its motif. Anyway, we've got one more for you. And this is called Ar gyfer heddiw bore, which means on this day, on this special day. Ar gyfer heddiw bore, faban bach, y ganwyd greudd yn Jesyn, faban bach, y cadarn ddaeth o Bosra, y deddfwr gynta'r Seina, yr iawn gaid ar Galfarion, faban bach, yn signo bron Marian, Thaban bach. Caid biwiol ddwfra segiel, Arlin Mair, a gwir feseia Daniel, Arlin Mair. Caid bachgen doedd y seia, ra ddewyd roedd i adda, yr alpha a'r omega, Arlin Mair, mewn cor ymedlem Siwda, Arlin Mair. Diosgod Grys Dei Goron, o'i wir fodd, mwyn caron i seian, o'i wir fodd. I blygu bendi halog, o dan y goron threiniog, i'r ddiodef dirmig lludiog, o'i wir fodd, codi pen y reiog, o'i wir fodd. Am hyn bechad i'r brosio, fel y rwyd, i ofyn am y noddfa fel y rwyd, i tir a goroed ffanon, ailch dy gloifau dion, fel eir y gwyn yn salmon, fel y rwyd, gan honni tir dan brodlon, fel y rwyd.
It's funny because I think if I was only able to ever sing one song for the rest of my life, that would be it. It's immensely satisfying to sing. You were going to say something, Jeff?
Oh, just that last line again, because I always love the last lines.
Yeah.
Basically, it's come, sinner, hurry. Come to basically to see the birth as you are. Come as you are, basically.
Yeah,
So,
come as you are. Yeah, don't bother getting dressed.
Yeah.
Just come as you are.
Come on.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. Yeah. Big hand for Jeff Lewis from the Welsh Choir, the Welsh Association. Anyone who's interested in all things Welsh, do talk to me or Jeff afterwards about joining. And if you like to sing, you don't have to know any Welsh. We sort of spell it all out for you. So, as Nancy in the back there can attest, yeah, Nancy's in the choir, Dylan's in the choir, yeah. My Dylan and Cor, right? Yeah. So we're going to round off the Welshness here with a Welsh wassail. And this is called a wassail.
I suppose you could sing that when it came around.
Yeah, you can.
Hop in. I have some friends here who said, I'm so impressed that people are singing along. And I said, well, it's dark and you'll never see any of these people again. So why not? It's a good time to give it a go. That's that one.
O dyma enw'r feinwen sydd yn codi gyda'r seren. A hoddi'r wassail fawr ei chlod sydd yn caru bod yn llawen. Farwel eich faneddigion, mi gaws yn croeso digon. Tra par o gwr dŵr yn tinc cloch well y boch wi bengen. Farwel eich fanedigion, mi gaws yn groeso ddigon. Bendydd diwfor eich tai a fabr rai o dynion. O dyma enw'r faenwen sydd yn codi gyda'r seren. O dyma enw'r faenwen sydd yn codi gyda'r seren. A hon yw'r wasail fawr ei chlog sydd yn caru bod yn llawen. A hon yw'r wasail fawr ei chlog sydd yn caru bod yn llawen. Oh yes, I love a sing-along. Yes.
I love a drummer song. A drum along. There you go.
Right. Drum and drummer.
So as Teresa says, from the sublime to the ridiculous, but I'm not opposed.
So you've already heard the holly and the ivy.
This
We
is a
opened it
bit
with
different.
This one. This is a little bit different.
It's the ivy and the holly. So we're going to teach you the chorus.
We just
Do you
pitch
want
it,
me
I
to
think.
pitch
I think we just pitch it. Literally just pitch it.
Right in the bin.
Oh, it's too bad. All right. Oh, the ivy and the holly. All together. Oh, the ivy and the holly. You'll know if you have seen 'em. You'll know if you have seen 'em. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between 'em. They've no good points between 'em. Let's put that all together. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen 'em. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between 'em. Great. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen 'em. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between 'em. Oh, the ivy have a berry as black as any sin. There's not much use in jams and pies and horrible in gin. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen 'em. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between 'em. Oh, the holly have a stalk as green as any veg. If you chop it up in salads, that'll set your teeth on edge. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen 'em. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between 'em. Oh, the ivy have a poison that'll make you itch like hell. If you boil it up in stews, well, it will make you sick as well. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen 'em. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between 'em. Oh, the holly have a root.
Beneath the earth it rots.
Rots.
And if you suck it slowly, it will bring you out in spots. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen them. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between them. Oh, the ivy have a leaf. Sometimes it's variegated, sometimes it's not, which goes to show how things get complicated. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen them. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between them. Oh, the holly have a flower that's hardly worth a mention. And I don't see why these two trees should get all this attention. Oh, the ivy and the holly, you'll know if you have seen them. Of all the trees that grow in the woods, they've no good points between them. Oh, the ivy and the holly, when they are full grown, the ivy needs the holly, for it can stand up on its own. Can't stand up.
So wrens are all over Ireland this time of year. Lots of songs called wren songs. There's people called wren boys who would go out on the day after Christmas. What would they do? Well, before they begged for drink and money, they would actually go looking for a wren to kill or ritually kill. I don't think they kill them anymore. And then they'd get the wren, take it around to houses and say, look what we've done, give us drink and money. There's a theme here. Why the wren, you say? Do they want to know why the wren? Why is it the wren? The wren is considered the king of the birds, and very small bird. Why the wren? Because the birds all had a contest to see which was the best and strongest bird, and they decided, well, we're birds, we can do one thing better than anyone, and that's fly. So they all took off straight up. Fly, all the birds in the world, flying, 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 flying. The eagle way outstripped all the other birds. So the eagle said, okay, I went the farthest. There was a wren on the eagle's back. And so once the eagle got tired, the wren kind of went flip, 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 flip. It's like, so hence the wren is the king of all birds. Now we're back to sacrifice. Something has to die so that the new year can turn. And I have a monograph on this that I'll sell you later. But anyway, wren songs are very popular. This has got a sing-along. It's called Up with the Kettle, Down with the Pan, Give Us a Penny to Bury the Wren. So that's it. Okay, let's see if I can remember. La. The wren, the king of all birds, St. Stephen's Day was caught in the furs. Although he was little, his honor was great. Jump up, my lads, and give us a trade. Up with the kettle and down with the pan, give us a penny to bury the wren. I traveled along 3 miles or more,
3 miles or more, 3 miles or more,
through hedges and ditches
and heaps of snow at 6 o'clock in the morning. Up with the kettle and down with the pan, and give us a penny to bury the wren.
Drolling, where's your nest?
It's in the bush that I love best. It's in the tree, the holly tree, where all the boys do follow me. Up with the kettle and down with the pan, and give us a penny to bury the wren.
As I went out a-hunting all, I
met the wren upon the wall. Up with me wattle and gave him a fall, and brought him here to show you all.
Up with the kettle and
down with the pan. Give us a penny to bury the wren.
I have a little box under me arm,
under me arm, under me arm. I have a little box under me arm. A penny or twopence would do it no harm.
Up with the kettle and down with the pan. Give us a penny to bury the wren.
Mrs. Breen is a very good woman,
A very good woman, a very good woman. Mrs. Breen is a very good woman. She gave us a penny to bury the wren.
Up with the
kettle and down with the pan. Give us a penny to bury the wren.
Bottles of whiskey and barrels of beer.
We wish you all a happy new year. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Pleased to see the king. Yeah. This is another Wren song called Pleased to See the King.
I think people know this one too.
Yeah, many of you know this, so join us. What was that one again? Joy, health, love, and peace be all here in this place. By your leave we will sing concerning our King. Our King is well dressed in the silks of the best, in ribbons no king can compare. We have traveled many miles over hedges and stiles in search of our King. Unto you we bring. We have powder and shot to conquer the lot. We have cannon and ball to conquer them all. Old Christmas is past, 12tide is the last, and we bid you adieu. Great joy to the new, and we bid you adieu. Great joy to the new. That was our penultimate song. I'd like to thank the ladies here for working so hard and giving us everything we need. I'd like to thank the sound crew over there, because no one knows what it's like to be the sound man. Thanks to Artichoke Music for being so kind to host us. It got postponed last week, and here we are. They had an open slot, which is great. Thank you very much, Artichoke Music. And the biggest of all, thank you to you for taking the time to come and sit with us and sing with us, because that actually really means, joking aside, that really does mean a lot to us. For us to look out there and see your faces and know that you're singing or participating in whatever way you want to means so much to us. So a big thank you to yourselves for that. Thank you.
Very much.
All right, so this is the Gloucester wassail, and this, I think, is probably one of the most well-known wassail songs in the US, as far as the British wassail songs. This one, I think, is probably the most popular or well sung. So we'll close out with that. This is Gloucester wassail. Indeed. Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. And here is to cherry and to a right cheek. May God send our master a good piece of beef. And a good piece of beef, that may we all see. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. And here is to Darwin and to a right eye. May God send our master a good Christmas pie. And a good Christmas pie, that may we all see. With a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail, wassail all over the town. Our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree.
with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee.
And here is to Phil Pale and to a long tail. May God send our master a good drop of ale.
And a good drop of ale, and may we all see, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail, wassail all over the town, our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee.
And here's to broad Mary and to her broad horn. May God send our master a good crop of corn.
And a good crop of corn, and may we all see, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail, wassail all over the town, our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of white maple tree, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee.
And here is to Lily, who in her white smock has tripped to the door and pulled back the lock. She's tripped to the door and pulled back the pin, for to let us jolly wassailers in. Wassail, wassail all over the town, our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail, wassail all over the town, our toast it is white and our ale it is brown. Our bowl it is made of the white maple tree, with a wassailing bowl we'll drink to thee. Wassail!
Thank you.
Thank you.